After my last French-style ice cream video, my BFF urged me to come up with something simple. So today, let's make 3 American-style ice creams. Plain, ancient tree sun-dried black tea, and coffee-flavored. The plain flavor is easy to make. In a small pot, weigh out 150 grams of whole milk with 3.5% fat. Add 25 grams of malt syrup or glucose. Put it on the stove and warm it over low heat. Stir to dissolve the syrup. Then add 1.2 grams of table salt and stir to dissolve. When the liquid is quite warm but not hot, around 50 degrees Celsius, add 20 grams of skim milk powder. It dissolves easily at this temperature. Once dissolved, remove the pot from heat and let it cool. To speed up the cooling process, place on top of ice packs and stir constantly to even out the temperature. When it feels cold enough, put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, place a medium-sized metal bowl on top of the ice packs and weigh out 250 grams of whipping cream. I used 36% fat content. To that, add 50 grams of custard sugar. Use an electric beater to whip it to stiff peaks. When you lift the beater and see a hook that softly bends over, keep beating. If the hook stands upright or forms a defined swirl, that's a stiff peak. Stop here. Take the milk mixture out of the freezer. It should be well chilled. Add a little to whipped cream. Then use a spatula to fold it in just until combined. Then add a bit more and fold again. This tempering process prevents mixture from forming blobs of airy cream and importantly from losing too much of the air previous beating in. Air is critical for reducing large ice crystal formation, so you don't want to lose it. Transfer it to container and put it in the freezer and forget about it. Freeze for at least 8 hours. Pour hot water into container and insert ice cream scooper. A 2 tablespoon sized scooper serves about 50 grams. This plain flavored ice cream tastes light and smooth. It's quite different from the French style, which is rich, creamy, and denser. Considering how much simpler it is to make, this is my go-to recipe when I want a quick fix. The black tea ice cream is inspired by Tranquil Sky Tea. I received these 2 teas from the founder of the Renewable Homeless Center, Jimmy McWhinney. Jimmy has spent the last 17 years helping homeless people in Shanghai by providing food, clothing, job training, and employment. Tranquil Sky Tea is a project started by Jimmy and his partners to raise money for the center. 100% proceeds go to Renewal Homeless Center. The center welcomes donations of volunteers. If you're interested in learning more about his charity, feel free to find him. 爱喝茶的 Jimmy. So the teas, one is ancient tree sun-dried black tea and the other is bindao pu'er. For the ice cream, I used black tea and I used 3 packs out of 10 in total. Each pack weighs 5 grams. Sun-dried black tea from ancient trees has a gentle tea flavor with floral notes. I tested several batches. To amplify tea flavor, I take half a pack, grind it as fine as possible in a coffee grinder. Actually, a spice grinder would be better, but I don't have one. Pass ground tea leaves through a sieve twice. Try to use a fine sieve so the tea grains are smaller, which helps reduce ice crystals. Anywhere from 2 to 2.5 grams of ground tea leaves will work. I have 2.1 grams. Now in a pot, add 215 grams water and 25 grams maltose syrup or glucose. Warm it up on the stove, then add 35 grams skim milk powder and stir until it dissolves. When it starts to simmer, add remaining 2.5 packs of tea leaves. Mix to help them hydrate. Let it simmer for 5 minutes. Then add 80 grams of heavy whipping cream. Stir well and continue simmering for another 3 minutes. Then turn off the heat and let the tea leaves steep in the pot for 30 minutes to extract more flavor. After that, strain through a sieve and press the tea leaves to extract as much liquid as possible. You should have around 240 grams of milk tea. Add ground tea leaves and mix well. Let it chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours, ideally overnight. In a metal bowl, weigh out 170 grams of heavy whipping cream. Add 1.2 grams table salt and 50 grams custard sugar. To complement the tea flavor, I decided to add 4 grams rose water for floral note and 4 grams of this rose-flavored sorghum liquor. Whip it to stiff peaks, then take the well-chilled milk tea mixture out of the fridge. Give it a quick stir, then add a small amount to the cream. Fold it in just until mixed. Then add another small amount and repeat. This batch is thinner than the plain flavored one, but don't panic. Transfer it to a container and immediately place in the freezer. This batch sacrificed some cream to extract more tea flavor, so it has less overrun, but it will make up for it by stirring at least twice in the first 3 hours, ideally once every hour to minimize large ice crystals. Stirring also helps the ground tea leaves stay suspended in the batch instead of sinking, especially since this recipe uses no emulsifier. Ancient tree sun-dried black tea isn't as bold as long fermented teas, especially when mixed with cream, but interestingly, I find it enhances cream flavor in a pleasant way. The hint of rose complements tea and adds complexity. I only wish I could grind tea leaves even finer. The last coffee ice cream couldn't be simpler. Extract 3 shots of espresso and set it aside. Weigh out 25 grams of maltose syrup or glucose, then add 100 grams of the espresso. Start to dissolve the sugar, then add 32 grams of the skim milk powder. Mix well until it's dissolved. Lastly, add 25 grams ice to quickly cool it down. I don't have the exact amount of ice, so top up the rest with water. Mix a bit, then put it in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes. By the way, if you don't have a machine, you can mimic an instant espresso by using 5 grams of this black coffee granules dissolved by 95 grams hot water. In a metal bowl, weigh 250 grams of heavy whipping cream, add 1.2 grams of table salt, and 50 grams caster sugar. Remember the 3 coffee liqueurs we made in one of my earlier videos? I'm adding 4 grams of the one made with espresso. Whip to stiff peaks, then take the chilled espresso out of the fridge, give it a quick mix, and just like before, go through a tempering process, making sure everything's well mixed. Finally, grating the zest of 1 orange. Use a microplane instead of cheese grater, which will turn into fine paste and won't affect texture much. Mix the dispersed paste, transfer it to container, and freeze for at least 8 hours. Give it a stir or 2 in the first 3 hours if you want a smoother texture, or just leave it and relax. This ice cream tastes like a mix of brie and orange. The 2 flavors pair nicely and create a layered, interesting taste. Unlike French-style ice cream, the American style is easier to make, lighter in mouthfeel, yet still full of flavor. I hope you'll try them this summer. Bye for now.